This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie took on human development, particularly young people, migration and reducing poverty, all issues he noted that plague the Caribbean, including the Bahamas. He was addressing the third Community of Latin American and Caribbean State Summit in San Jose, Costa Rica yesterday.
Yes, Mr. Christie, who also represented CARICOM as chairman, told more than 30 heads of state that identifying the problem is only the first step. However, taking action continues to prove challenging. Clint Watson reports.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie says there are three main areas of concern that are plaguing the Bahamas and countries in the Caribbean, and forums like CELAC must not just talk about it but seek to find ways of solving them. Topping those issues, the state of our youth. Mr. Christie, a firm believer that this will be central to the survival and sustainability of our countries.
The issue of young people, their joblessness, their sense of despair, threatens the very stability of our countries and our democracies. Often, young people are the poorest in our societies, with the least skills. So in working to reduce poverty, we must make special efforts to ensure that young people are nurtured and protected. We ignore this, as I've indicated, at our peril.
The Prime Minister also looking to CELAC for help in addressing migration issues of the region, in particular the Bahamas.
We think that within this forum, the issue ought to be addressed as to how all countries can take steps to curb irregular migration and how we can work together to stop it and to ensure while there is migration, it is orderly, lawful, and safe.
Outlining what he considers to be good governance, Mr. Christie pledged his support of CARICOM to ascribing to sound principles, particularly as nations in the hemisphere seek to support legislative and institutional reforms to fight poverty.
The heads are aware that corruption, lack of transparency, and processes and systems which are devoid of accountability undermine democracy, good governance, and the credibility of governments. All of us in CARICOM are committed to best practices for good governance.
Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
There's been a lot of talk about liquefied natural gas and the possibilities of establishing a plan right here in the Bahamas. Today, BC Chairman Leslie Miller addressed the issue, saying once again he sees it as a viable option for the country.
It's the safest industry. It's the safest product that man has ever used to produce energy. Under the United States, there's an abundance of it. The United States is now the world's leader in the production of LNG. And hopefully the United States will now allow those companies to export LNG, especially to the Caribbean, which is to enable the burden to be taken off the backs of the people in this region, especially Bahamas, because the high cost of electricity at BC is so outrageous. It is sickening. The hotels can't afford it anymore. We're not competitive, and something needs to be done. So anything that's going to benefit the people is more than makes me more than happy, and I'm proud that the Prime Minister is now taking this view that it has to be done.
As Cable Bahamas seeks to raise the price of its Rev TV Prime package, ERCA officials are seeking the public's feedback. Jarek Higgs has more on the impact of the new Prime local offering on your super basic package.
ERCA says affordability is not a factor in whether or not Cable Bahamas will be able to increase the price of its super basic package, known as Rev TV Prime, from $30 to $38. ERCA's Director of Policy and Regulation, Stephen Barreau, was responding to a question about whether other factors, such as energy costs, were considered when evaluating the affordability of the package.
We have not said that the increase, the $38 package, is affordable, and in fact that is not within our jurisdiction, because affordability is an issue for base universal service.
The previous application by Cable Bahamas for a price increase was rejected, with ERCA stating that the company failed to meet its universal service obligation, which requires the company to provide affordable basic television services to all populated areas and specified institutions. The newly proposed Prime Local package offers 6 channels, 4 local, 1 weather, and 1 U.S. channel at a price of $10. Barreau says based on ERCA's estimation, that is affordable.
Because of the launch of the universal service package at $10 in all of the areas where the increase goes, Our analysis of affordability is limited to that $10 package. And the statement we made on affordability was that that $10 package, 6 channels, $10, the $10 price is affordable based on its percentage of the lowest incomes in the Bahamas.
Concerned citizens who turned up to the town hall meeting expressed dissatisfaction over the options laid out in the prime local package.
No one is really concerned about the $10 package. It doesn't even sound that appealing.
I hope this list of channels that they would give persons who can't afford the basic never comes to pass, because I'm sure nobody wants to watch. We'll probably watch ZNS.
What is that? All of those channels are weather and commercial channel. What we gonna watch?
IRCA's Director of Policy and Regulation also noted that customers would not be allowed to add on channels to their $10 package. In order to do so, you would need Rev TV Prime. Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
President of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress, Obie Ferguson, today made public the union's intentions. He says this year will be a very proactive one for the TUC, with several outstanding trade matters to be resolved. Ferguson, however, says primary on the union's agenda is to secure an increase in the minimum wage. Ferguson is also seeking to have the Industrial Act amended to better define the terms and conditions of workers on the expiration of an industrial agreement to become law. He also questioned why hotel workers should have to choose between benefits such as gratuity and redundancy pay when the hotel agreement makes it very clear in his words. Ferguson is of the view that hotel workers are being taken advantage of. He also found it inconceivable that a hotel employee for 35 years would get the same redundancy pay as another employee of only 12 years.
We are concerned, very concerned, about the state of labor and workers in this country. When you can fire 194 workers, 198 workers without any recourse, that is of some concern, certainly to the TUC and its affiliates. When you look at the repressive provision in the Employment Act and the Industrial Relations Act, which makes it difficult for you to get gratuity and redundancy pay, you earn both, but you must make a choice as to which one you intend to go after. Why would we have those kind of legislation in place?
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. Caribbean Pavement Solutions, a subsidiary of Bahamas Striping Group of companies, is making a mark since launching last year. The new company now has a total of 6 young male employees. Bahamas Striping has another 7 men employed. The two share office space with a total of 16 workers. Caribbean Pavement Solutions uses its primary product, RejuvaSeal, to revitalize, seal, and protect airport runways, roadways, and parking lots. In other business news, world-renowned insurance training consultant Gary Kinder, CEO and Chief Master Trainer of Kinder Brothers International, is once again bringing his deep industry knowledge and experience to the Bahamas at a training symposium hosted by TriStar Insurance Agents and Brokers Limited. Gary Kinder has provided training services to the local market since the 90s. His expert experience spans more than 45 years, during which he and his team provided training and consultancy to more than 300 international companies, including Allstate, Farmers Insurance, MetLife, and HSBC. And in international news, booking website Expedia Incorporated has acquired partner travel service Travelocity from Sabre Corporation for $280 million in cash, according to the statement from the company's released by Reuters. The merger marks further consolidation in the online booking space, which has seen a number of acquisitions from Expedia Inc.'s main competitor, the Priceline Group, including its $2.6 billion takeover of restaurant reservation website OpenTable last year. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.
Police are literally putting their feet to the ground, pounding the pavement as it continues its mission to maintain law and order. The police walkabout is one such initiative to this effort. Authorities conducted the first walkabout for the year in the Baines and Grantstown community today, with Assistant Superintendent of Police Anthony Rowe leading the mission.
Our initiative is to go door to door to residents in the area, and where necessary, we would like to establish a partnership with those that we may have missed over the years, or on the other hand, we look to strengthen the existing partnership with our residents in this area to try to get them on board with us in the fight against crime. Okay, evidence is seen with this, with the presence of several of our area pastors who are here with us. They are partnered with us because they realize that this is a fight that the police can't do alone. And also, once we have the support of our community and we have the police presence on the street, it goes a long way in helping to prevent these crimes in this area.
Senior pastor of the Church of God of Prophecy on Meadow Street, Bishop Sterling Moss, says it was important for him to be a part of the event.
I have a passion for the area. I've been here now for about 8 months, and I've seen the social situation. You see the poverty, the unemployment, the high rate of crime and violence, teenage pregnancies, all of the social ills. And we really believe that Christ can answer all of those social ills that we see in this community. But we will assist them in any other areas of their lives, like employment, counseling, building self-esteem, and believing in themselves, and then we introduce Jesus.
On any given day, driving around the streets of Nassau, there appears to be a slow increase in the number of homeless persons. Those numbers are clearly evident at various charitable organizations, especially around lunchtime. Well, our Jimenita Swain recently spoke to the divisional commander of the Salvation Army, Major Lester Ferguson, who says he's seeing an increase in the number of young men popping up for assistance. Jimenita joins us live in studio. And Jimenita, from the Salvation Army standpoint, why do they think this, and exactly how are they going to try to empower those men?
Thanks, Chris. Well, officials at the Salvation Army say there appears to be more young men appearing for meals at the Mackey Street location on a daily basis. And while women and elderly make up the bulk of those numbers, Divisional Commander for the Salvation Army, Lester Ferguson, telling ZNS News that a number of reasons account for why more young men are popping up.
Joblessness, inadequate training, they don't have the skills to get a good job. There are those who are on the line who have actually come to us for their lunch. They'll come have their lunch and then go back to work because they can't afford. And then there are others who, for other reasons, they may have just been released from prison. And of course there are implications for that, not being able to get a job and the rest of it. So we're happy to give them a meal and provide counseling as well, of course. And especially for our young men, we are encouraging them to not just come to the Salvation Army for a meal, but we have a learning program, what we call the Community Learning Center, where they can access entry-level jobs or meet with a counselor who would help to provide some literacy or numeracy training.
Now, Major Ferguson said the largest number of persons looking for assistance from the Salvation Army are women. That number, he said, does not account for children, but he said women look to meet the needs for their household.
Usually it is about 60% of the persons that we see would be women. And that would be women between the age of, let's say, about 40 to 60. And of course we have elderly men who come to our program as well, but the majority of them would be women, and of course their concerns would be not just for themselves but for their families, for their children as well. So if we were to kind of put them in a category, the women, they come because they have needs for their entire family, not just for themselves.
Now, the Salvation Army has been lending assistance to the less fortunate and those with genuine need for more than 50 years. And that's something Ferguson hopes does not change, but that it continues to expand and develop. Live in the newsroom, Jimenita Swain, back to you, Chris.
Several Harvard University students who are studying the culture and people of Mayaguana in order to preserve that island's cultural heritage spent some time with President of the College of the Bahamas, Dr. Rodney Smith, recently. The students are conducting the research under the guidance of Dr. Thomas Burke of Harvard University. In addition to the interviews that they are conducting of Mayaguana residents, the students are also interviewing people from Inagua, Crooked Island, and Acklins. A report will be produced and provided to the College of the Bahamas.